I was right. And it didn't even take 24 hours for me to be proven right. In fact, it only took 30 minutes. You want proof? Let me show you proof here. So this is the video I uploaded yesterday. As you can see, I uploaded it at 7:22 p.m. yesterday, and within 30 minutes, the Attorney General in the United States posted this at 7:52 talking about age verification laws. For those that don't know who this is the same Attorney General that initiated the investigation and lawsuit against Roblox, and the same Attorney General that also posted this clip as well. One thing I talked about yesterday when I uploaded this video was that the whole Roblox situation stinks. It stinks badly. With the whole thing with, like, the Jim Banks thing, with the selling of Roblox stocks and all that, like, literally less than a month ago, to the situation with, like, how the government instantly got involved with all this after there's just been such a heavy push for censoring of the internet, enforcing age verification, ID verification, and everything I talked about in yesterday's video. The government instantly attaches itself to Roblox and starts talking about, which, honestly, it needed to happen. Roblox does need to be investigated, 100%. But what I said in yesterday's video is that the entire situation around Roblox is going to be turned into a political stunt to push the Screen Act and push the Kids Online Safety Act, that a lot of content creators, including myself, have talked about extensively, that would literally invade your privacy. It would literally ruin the ability of being anonymous online, and they would be able to, like, basically know what you're doing at any given time, these companies and stuff. And we've already had examples as of late that you can't trust these different sites and businesses with your information. Like, even if we're not talking about strictly the data collection and invading your privacy, these businesses, these companies, these tech companies that gain your ID or your credit card information, they can't be trusted because the T-App, like, the T-App is a good example. It got hacked, and then IDs and all that came out, and everybody now knows who these people on the T-App look like. And regardless if you think it was funny or whatever happened to the T-App, the point is that is a really good example of what can happen with a company that doesn't protect your information. And obviously, if every single site, every single website online is forced to use age verification and forces an ID, there's going to be sites that are going to cheap out. There's going to be sites that are going to not put as much security into protecting your stuff, and it's going to leak out. You're basically going to dox yourself. That's what's going to happen. And that's a horrifying reality. But what makes this even scarier is while all this is going on, you have companies even like PayPal that also are always under security threat. Like, this is a post literally today where PayPal has apparently been hacked. Millions of accounts, 15 million, almost 16 million emails and passwords were compromised apparently today, by the way. So if you haven't changed your password yet for PayPal today, I highly recommend you do it, because almost 16 million, passwords and emails were compromised today, and which goes along with what I was just talking about, that these sites, they're going to always have security risk, and they're going to have even more incentive to break their security if your very sensitive data is there, aka your ID or your credit card information. I'll expand on that in just a moment and paint a picture, but the point I'm getting at is that if PayPal can have something like this done to them, what's going to stop people from breaking into lesser sites? Sites that do not have as much political backing or a lot of capital in terms of money to be able to build upon a security system. For instance, these little sites around there that do not have as much money as PayPal or YouTube or something, they are at a massive risk of just basically leaking your information, not because they want to, but because it's going to be easier potentially to invade their security, to get your stuff from it. But let's paint the picture even better. Obviously, yes, there's always a risk of these different sites and stuff getting hacked and, different things getting leaked out there. It's always been a thing since the dawn of the internet. But why this is very important, and why I'm bringing this up right now, and why this whole ID thing that the Attorney General is trying to push, and basically all these countries are trying to push, is that if every single site on the internet has your ID on it, the potential or the incentive to get into these websites, to hack in and bypass their security, exponentially rises. The profit that they can gain from it is much higher, because if they can get into your account, they get your ID, they get your address, it can open up a whole new avenue of data collection and selling of your information to other people, even on black markets and on the dark web and all sorts of other things. It would not be good. It's a whole different can of worms, and it's just like there's probably so much more that I'm leaving out and not even thinking about. So this is one of the very big reasons, which I haven't touched upon a lot, but why forced identification online is a very bad thing. That doesn't obviously get into the whole privacy stuff and the censorship and everything like that. I'm just strictly talking about how your data will just be thrown into the wind, and you're having to trust these random sites and companies to be able to house your data or your information on file and allow it not to leak. Even though we've had literally in just the last month examples of your, information like IDs getting leaked by apps and stuff like that. But anyways, let's get back on point. So it is actually insane that I was right, that they really are. They are actually using the Roblox situation as a political move to force Kids Online Safety Act and the Screen Act to get passed. Expect to see more politicians, more senators and everything openly talking about this and a way to try to pass these legislations, because what better way to really pass this legislation than have a whole situation with Roblox go down, which this gets into the next situation at hand. I do think that Roblox does need to be investigated. People do need to be arrested. People do need to be investigated and seeing if they actually are criminals or not. I think the entire moderation team and the security staff and everything on Roblox potentially needs to be investigated as well. And I do think that the government, the United States government investigating Roblox is also very important, because clearly there's been some very sus things going on for a long while, especially with the video I uploaded yesterday outlining the conflict of interest. For instance, the whole online safety stuff with, Tammy on the board of like FOSI, and then also the VP a part of Roblox. There's clearly stuff going on there. There's a lot of corruption with all these different tech firms and stuff like that. It's clearly an incentive to push online safety and force ID verification. But the point is that these companies, Roblox, etc., does need to be investigated. 100%. I think that they need to. But they are now going to use this as a good way to try to push the acts, the bills and stuff that's in Congress to literally censor the entire internet. We already have an example. Didn't even take 24 hours. It took 30 minutes after my video upload for this post to even come out from the very person that has opened up the investigation of Roblox. It's just, I don't want to say it's a coincidence, or not a coincidence. I don't want to say it's a conspiracy, but everything just feels so perfectly timed, man. It does. It does. It really does. Just all this, like, you have all these issues with Roblox for years that's been brought up since, from what I could see, since, like, 2018, and it's been actively ignored, but suddenly we have this whole thing with Schlep, the content creator with the cease and desist. The government's eye awakens, it instantly notices everything, and this happens literally a month after Jim Banks, one that's pushing COSA and the Screen Act, sells stocks in Roblox. That doesn't feel like a coincidence. It doesn't. That really doesn't. Because politicians, they know what's going on behind the scenes. They are in the know. They know when things are potentially going to go down or go up, which is a big issue with insider trading, which is way beyond my scope of talking about. But the point is that it's very sus that all this goes down, and we have stock selling from politicians and stuff literally a month ago, and it's the same politician that is pushing online safety. You get the point. It's weird. But now that this Roblox stuff has happened, it's opened up a can of worms with the normal public that doesn't even know what's going on with the ID verification, the forced ID, and everything going on with COSA and the Screen Act. They're going to potentially see these politicians talking about this live on news coverages and stuff like that, maybe CNN or whatever, and they're going to, think like, holy crap, maybe, there does need to be a law passed to protect these kids, like COSA and the Screen Act do need to be passed, because this is the smoking gun. This is what they need to be able to really push it through Congress and get this to pass. Because obviously, there has been a lot of people that have been hurt thanks to Roblox's actions of what they've done with their lack of moderation and security and safety and everything. There's a lot of ways to really, look at this situation. But the big fact here is that people and kids have been hurt thanks to Roblox. That is 100% factual. We all know it. And because it is such a real thing, and now it just happened with everything going on, this can be used politically to push that censorship, to push the privacy invasion on adults as well, because who is going to argue against this? The normal populace that doesn't know what's going on, they're going to look at this and think to themselves, why would you not want to protect kids? Why would you not want something to pass that would protect kids from seeing things or doing things with bad people or whatever? It's like, makes sense. But that's the optics. That's the optics that these politicians are doing, and they have their smoking gun. They have it. Because you're going to have the general populace that doesn't know what's been happening, that doesn't game, that doesn't watch anime, that doesn't really browse with the internet too much. They're going to support this. So, it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. Oh, it really is exactly what I talked about. It feels so orchestrated, man. I know I seem like a conspiracy theorist. Just things line up way too easy. Like, the dominoes and pieces fall together so quickly and intact together. It's just like, there's no other way to really look at the situation, that it's all been coordinated. I'll leave it at that, though. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about My Dress Up Darling. There's something I want to talk about when it comes to the latest episode that came out. But I'll leave my conversation for all this for now. I love you guys. Be safe. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Helps with the algorithm. Chibi out.